What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Delay of Game Season 1, Episode 15, The Average Man's Perspective on Football. I'm your co-host, Marcus. Joining me on the panel tonight is Brian. Say what up, Brian.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Herman.
Hello, hello.
And Mark.
Good evening.
Before we get started, I want to encourage everyone to go to sportsintel.net to get some great commentary and opinion on everything sports related. That's sportsintel.net. Also want to encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, help us get those views up. Share the video, and when you do subscribe, hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we go live. And so, I hope everyone had a happy Thanksgiving. We've been on a 2-week hiatus. We're glad to be back. Ready to bring you some good commentary about the NFL. So, what are we starting off with, Herman?
All right.
Before we start,
Twitter.
Thank you.
Twitter. Delay of game. What's it?
Delay of game 3.
Delay of game 3 on Twitter.
We normally post what we're going to be having a conversation about, the games that we're going to be picking, so you can live tweet the show once the show starts.
All right, everybody. So, welcome back to the show.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Hope everybody enjoyed themselves. How was your Thanksgiving, Brian?
It was awesome. I ate well, I slept well, and I watched a lot of great football.
How about you, Mark?
Fantastic. It was incredible being around family and friends and good health and good food. So, yeah.
Marcus?
It was good. That's good food. Had a bad cold, but it wasn't as good as it could have been. But I'm all right now.
Yeah.
Oh, we're glad you feel better.
Thank you.
I enjoyed mine too. Good food, good football, family, and it was nice having certain friends think about me at certain times during Thanksgiving. I'll get into that one a little bit later. But we're gonna kick off we're gonna go through the Week 11 games. I know it's kind of been back a little bit, but we still want to go over our picks, so we'll do that because there was a really good game Week 11 we want to talk about. So we'll get into the first game, which was Seattle and the Packers. I'll start off. I picked Seattle. Seattle won 27-24. Quarterback game. Rodgers 332 yards, 2 touchdowns. Wilson 225 yards, 2 touchdowns. But Seattle pulled out the win. Marcus, who'd you have?
I picked Seattle. Even though I picked Green Bay to be the division champions this year, I'm totally off of them now, and with good reason. So, Seahawks.
Mark?
Same here with Seahawks. The Green Bay started out like it was going to be a game about it, but Russell Wilson did his fourth quarter magic. And Seattle's been playing real well lately. But I took Seattle in this one, and I was victorious.
Brian, who'd you have?
Yeah, it's a sweep. We all picked Seattle, and like Mark was saying, the Packers came out, guns blazing. Rodgers doing his thing, throwing balls deep down the field and making touchdowns, and you thought it wasn't going to be, Seattle's night, but you can't never knock Russell Wilson out. And that offense runs the ball. I mean, they run the ball like nobody's business, and they took care of business.
They had 173 rushing yards. So.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move on to Chicago and the Vikings. Chicago won that one 25-20. Brian, who'd you have?
On this one, I picked wrong. I did go with the Vikings. Thought Kirk was going to do a little bit more than I anticipated. He did end up doing what I wanted him to do the week next than this week. But you got to give it to Chicago. You got to give it to that defense. I mean, they really stepped up and they shut that Vikings offense down.
Mark?
I went with the Bears. I think the Minnesota had a tough time shutting down Chicago's offense. I thought that they did a good job establishing the run, and it helped out that game. But I took the Bears.
Marcus?
I took the Bears, because they're hot right now. They're on fire. I think it's definitely their division to win. I think they're definitely the division leaders at the end of the season.
Yeah, I took Chicago too. It's that, like I said, their defense with the addition of Mack. I mean, you can't talk about that enough. It's inspired by, I think, both sides of the ball. Trubinsky, he doesn't have to do too much. He's doing just enough. He's not hurting them.
And the offensive coordinator, I mean, he just sets him up for the easier plays, to be successful. He doesn't give a lot on his plate, but the stuff he does works out for him very well.
Yeah. So, Brian, you lone wolfed that one.
Yeah, I lone wolfed that one, and I deserve that lone.
All right. We're going to move on to the Colts and the Titans. Marcus, who'd you have on that one?
Man, I totally picked wrong on that. I was high on the Titans, and the coaches came in and basically murdered them 38-10. So lost that one.
Yeah, I had the Titans also. I thought the Titans was hot after they beat Dallas and the Patriots. I'm thinking it's a divisional game, and I guess I more overlooked the Colts because the Colts are actually playing pretty good football right now. Andrew Luck, he's back to his old form. So I picked that one wrong. I had the Titans. Mark, who'd you have?
I picked wrong with this one too. I took the Titans. I thought, just as Herman said, I thought the Titans were going to come out strong. Because of the previous week. But give Andrew Luck a lot of credit, man. He might be the comeback player of the year so far.
Mm-hmm.
What was nice in that game is that they gave him a lot of protection. He got a lot of time back there to throw the ball. His decision making was perfect. But coach defense actually played a lot better than anticipated too. But I lost that one. Titans I took.
Brian.
So we all picked wrong on this one because I was also with the Titans. And like Herman was saying, it must have been recency bias, on how well they played against New England, and it's not giving the Colts enough credit. Ebron, every time I turn around, that dude's in the end zone catching the touchdown the last couple of weeks. So you definitely got to give the Colts their due.
All right, so we move on to the Saints and the Eagles. Mark, who'd you have on that?
Saints. I had the Saints in this one. I thought the Eagles sailed by, and it come out to be true. They lost another player in that game, defensive back in the game. So the Eagles they're in trouble. But Drew Brees, what can I say? He found some more targets that we didn't even know that the team had.
Yeah, that was
great. I'm waiting for old retired players to come in and catch touchdowns.
Joe Horn.
But the Saints, I took, they won it.
Brian,
I also picked the Saints on this one. I think we were all pretty much in agreement, if I recall the last time. The Eagles just didn't have enough firepower. You can just see the Eagles quarterback just struggling. And then when the Saints offense gets rolling and they put you up, 2-3 scores, then you're out of your game plan completely. And you're falling right into the hands of that defense, which is one of the statistics that they show. The Saints have the number one rushing defense, but they're the 28th in passing. Because everybody has to throw at one point in time the way the Saints are playing. So, I give them credit. And I think they did destroy the Eagles on that one.
Marcus.
I remember saying that, the Eagles were going in and just totally mop the floor with them. The Saints were. And that's exactly what they did. Right now, you'd be crazy. And this will come up later. You'd be crazy to pick against the Saints right now. If they're on fire, they're the best team in the NFL. You'd be crazy to pick against them.
Yeah, I had the Saints too. Breeze was 22 for 30, 363 yards, 4 touchdowns. Nobody's talking about how bad Wentz is playing right now. I get it that the Eagles' defense is hurt. Most of their players are hurt on defense, but Wentz is looking not too hot. Okay,
did he come back too soon?
I don't know. 19 for 33, 156 yards, and 3 interceptions. Maybe he's trying to do too much. I don't know, but he's not looking good at all.
Yeah, and their receivers just aren't helping him. He basically has a tight end and one wide receiver that's not the guy that's the deep threat.
But even now he's got Golden Tate.
And they seem to struggle to try to get him involved in the game plan.
Chemistry.
But it seems like if you shut down Ertz, you pretty much got that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Is it time to bring back the NFL MVP? Not the NFL. The Super Bowl MVP.
I don't know.
I don't think really pull it.
You don't want to do that.
Throw down with that shit that you want right there.
Yeah. All right. So the last game from Week 11. You got to get into this one. Rams and the Chiefs. Rams won this one 54-51. I'll start it off. I picked the Chiefs. I thought the Chiefs was going to win this game. I really did. Mahomes was 33 for 46 passes, though. But he was 478 yards, 6 touchdowns. But the thing that hurt him
was it 6?
Was the turnover. Because Goff's stat line was 31 for 49, 413 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Nope.
He performed the game too.
He did have
Yeah, he had an interception return for touchdown and a fumble for touchdown. So
who, Goff? No, Goff didn't have any interception.
I know he
didn't. No, you talking about Mahomes?
Oh,
Mahomes, yeah,
yeah.
Mahomes.
But yeah, I picked the Chiefs. I got that one wrong. Brian?
I did actually pick this one right. I did go with the Rams. This was a coin toss. I mean, the way them teams went up and down the field, you would have thought that defense didn't exist anymore in the NFL. And everybody and their grandmother went crazy over this. I mean, that's all you hear about. But, I mean, even today, they're still talking about it because those teams had a bye. But it was a great game. It was fun to watch. I just hope all the games are like this.
But it was crazy because the Rams defense scored 21 points.
Yeah.
So,
But the yardage that they gave up.
yeah, that was Marcus, who'd you have?
I picked wrong on this. I picked the Chiefs only because I feel like the Rams have to lose one more. I don't. They could go 15-1, but this was a great game. I didn't get to see it live. I had to watch the replays. It was just touchdown after touchdown, and I think the big thing was Mahomes threw those 3 picks, and it was just I just feel sorry for the NFL come to Super Bowl because. How do you top this? To me, this is by far the greatest. This should have been this should have been the Super Bowl. This could still be the Super Bowl. It's gonna be hard to top this any game this season.
But the sad thing about that too, y'all kind of harping on Mahomes' interceptions. The last one really was just a BS. Just throw up, try to make something happen play. But there was an interception that Goff threw to Scandrick in that game that he dropped.
Goff didn't have
That's what I'm saying.
No,
He dropped it.
right. He did. He
Had
dropped
he
the
intercepted that ball,
that would have ended that drive.
the Chiefs would have won that game.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Good job, Scandrick.
This one I had the Chiefs. But Marcus, I go back to saying, I told you whoever scored the most points was going to win this. I told you that. Man, this game was everything. When you sit there and you play PlayStation, you have this type of game in PlayStation. You don't see this live. This was a remarkable game. I thought that Mahomes started out pretty well, but then he had a couple of little glitches in there, little interceptions in it. But man, the coaching in this game, they just refused to punt.
Oh,
They
yeah,
didn't.
they
Did they punt the whole game?
there was a couple of punts.
Okay.
But both coaches, man, they put their punters on the sideline and say, "Look, we're going for it each and every time."
But one of the things I noticed towards the end, this is just my opinion about the end of the game. You said that one pick, that last pick that Mahomes threw was just to try to make something happen. I feel like his inexperience showed during that drive because they only needed to get in the field goal.
That's true.
Yes.
And that was my thing. That's when you got to just get your team down the field, get in the field goal range. You don't have to get that touchdown. Like you said, everybody was trying to get touchdown. So that was the one thing I saw inexperience-wise, whereas, in the game that I thought that may have hurt them a little bit. So, but if this winds up being the Super Bowl, this will probably be one of the most watched Super Bowls ever.
Definitely.
Records.
They will definitely set off Super Bowl records because everybody's going to tune in to watch this, and what's going to happen. It's going to be a defensive game. So some crazy crap like that. Everybody's going to
another 1,000 yards before.
But I called 100 points in this game. I said it's either going to be a defensive game or it's going to be 100 points by halftime. It was 100, but it was 100 total. I mean, that was great. If you love offense, which I do, that was a great game.
All right, so that wraps up Week 11. We're going to move right into Week 12. We're going to start with the Thanksgiving games. First game up on the docket is Detroit versus Chicago. Chicago won this one 23-16. Marcus, who'd you have?
I picked Chicago. Just like I said a couple of minutes ago, Chicago's on fire right now. They're going to win the NFC North, and Green Bay can't touch them. Detroit can't touch them. They can't be touched right now.
Mark, who'd you have?
Monsters of the New Midway. I took the Bears the whole time. Chase Daniels played effective. He played pretty good.
Started off shaky.
It did. He was just a little bit off in the beginning of the game, but he came in. The Bears.
Right.
I picked this one wrong. I did pick Detroit. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I was swayed by the fact that Chase Daniels was starting, but that defense alone should have told me not to pick Detroit. I mean, I think Stafford threw 3 picks in that game?
Two.
One crucial.
One was a horrible
crucial.
pick, which turned the game all the way, turned it over. Because it was a pretty decent game till I think the third quarter. But I picked that one wrong. wrong. So I farted on Chicago twice and I lost twice.
Yeah, I picked Chicago on this one too. So Brian Lone Wolf wrong again.
And it's always Chicago.
Yeah, it just I was concerned about Chase Daniel starting, but Chicago's defense I felt like was just going to hold them in enough that they could score and do what they needed to do, and that's basically what happened. And then Detroit is so up and down. You don't know which Detroit you're going to get each week. I think Matt Patricia does have them kind of going in the right direction though. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch because I feel like he's going to want his own quarterback. Yeah. He's going to get tired of Stafford with the crap like the one crucial pick that he threw. He's going to get tired of that stuff, and he's going to want, if I'm going to go down on my ship, I'm going down with my quarterback. So that's going to be something interesting to watch.
But how many coaches have been? Stafford has been there to a lot of coaches. He survived a lot of coaches.
Yeah. Matt Patricia.
He just got a new contract too.
Oh yeah, I'm telling you, Matt Patricia is that. He's their Belichick. He's what they, so you know what I'm saying? That's what they want.
I disagree. I think Patricia should be long gone before Stafford does.
I don't know.
I got to kind of agree with you, Herman, on this because I think Patricia's going to want his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is not really his quarterback.
Right.
So you don't think that Patricia's going to focus more on getting that defense in line? I mean, that's really his forte and his specialty. You don't think he's really going to be that?
You're still married to that. You're still married to the quarterback.
What I think is they're going to have to sit down and really agree if this quarterback, if he's going to be the future for them, if they want to do that. If that's the case, then they're going to build stuff around him. If not, don't be surprised to see him down in Florida.
Where does great quarterback going to come off? The quarterback tree? I mean, you can't. Great quarterbacks are just aren't.
He's gonna want to.
He wants more of a game
He's gonna want. He's gonna want somebody who's not gonna be a gunslinger. Yeah. He's gonna build the defense like Brian said. He's not because he's not gonna be able to get like a Patriot type quarterback. Okay, he's not gonna get a Tom Brady. So he's gonna build a defense like Brian said, and then he's gonna want a quarterback who's just not gonna hurt his team. That's all he needs. A game manager, and I'll win with that. And Stafford is not a game manager. He's a gunslinger. So and every head coach is married to their quarterback. And if I'm Matt Patricia, I want my own quarterback. I want my quarterback.
I guess, but I mean, if you start looking at the way the trends are, the way the NFL teams are scoring now, shoot, you might want to keep Stafford.
And I'm gonna throw one more thing scenario out there. If you look at Stafford in Detroit, maybe his time is up in there. You have another quarterback in Oakland that they're not too happy about.
Carr.
Would you see the possibility of maybe them two trading quarterbacks?
Yeah, because John Gruden loves his rookie. His veteran quarterbacks.
And he does like.
That's an interesting.
He does act like him a lot. So I wouldn't be surprised to look at some crazy stuff like that happen.
All right, so I got everybody's picks right.
Yep.
We're gonna move on to the second game of Thanksgiving Day.
You gonna do that one?
Yeah.
You should probably do that one last.
All right, fine. We'll do that one.
What? We're gonna do that now. We're gonna do that last.
Right. We're gonna move on to the Saints and the Falcons.
Oh man, y'all kidding.
Talk about this one real quick because Saints won this one 31-17. Of course, I picked the Saints. Wasn't gonna pick the Falcons on this one. Matt Ryan, though, you don't know, Matt Ryan threw for 377 yards, but 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. And Breeze only had 170 yards, but he had 4 touchdowns and 1 INT. So, Marcus, who do you have on that one?
Saints. Every time Saints come up, I'm picking Saints.
Brian?
I was with y'all with the Saints, and I mean the Falcons were playing scared that whole game. They were chasing points and doing things in the red zone that they just should not have been doing.
Hell, in their own territory.
Yeah, and in their own territory. I don't know what kind of game plan they came up with, but it was not the way to try to beat the Saints. They could have done it. They had a better chance of being more. They had the offense to do it, but I don't know. And then the what's his name? Quarterback. Yeah, he's like running around in circles down in the red zone, and they strip the ball from him, and just doing too much. Just play your game and let the cards fall where they may.
Mark,
I took the Saints on this one. Atlanta's red zone woes came back again. They struggled in the red zone. But if you look at the stats, it's like no. I mean, Atlanta was toe to toe with them as far as stats. And like you said, the passing yards for Matt Ryan. I don't see how they would have not taken advantage of the game. They couldn't take advantage of putting 7 up or set up the 3-point field goal or getting anything. So the red zone woes for Atlanta is what really put them up. But I took the Saints.
All All right, we'll move on to Vikings and Packers. Vikings won this one 24-17. Brian, who'd you have?
I had the Vikings on this one. Finally, the Kirk Cousins that I thought was going to be the quarterback for the Vikings finally showed up. And, I mean, you can just see Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I don't know, he's just not happy with the offensive coordinator, the head coach. And he just has to do too much. And that defense, I mean, they sack every once in a while, but, I mean, they really don't put a ton of pressure on the quarterback.
It's starting to look like Green Bay's like a rebuilding. They might even look at rebuilding. I mean, just rebuild with Rodgers. I don't know. Marcus, who'd you have?
You know, I usually like to pick Kirk Cousins on that team, but I picked right that time on the Vikings because I'm down on the Packers right now. The Packers are not a good team right now. Right now, they look terrible. They seem like they got dysfunction in Green Bay. It doesn't seem like Mike McCarthy is going to be there next year. You know, there's probably going to be some serious changes in Green Bay during the offseason.
Mark.
I lost this one. I took Green Bay in this one. Kirk Cousins bounced back from one of his worst games and had pretty much one of the better games. 29 for 30, 38 for 342 yards and 3 touchdowns. I think he redeemed himself as far as being the number one quarterback for the Vikings this time. But I lost on it. I took Green Bay.
Wow. Yep. I picked the Vikings on this one. So you wrong wolf this. Wrong wolf this. But yeah, it was Kirk Cousins finally showed up. They kept talking about he couldn't win the big one. He hadn't won a big one, on a Sunday night or a primetime game.
Yeah, he had a terrible stat with prime time. Although most of that was with Washington,
right? But he couldn't help himself with that. So, but yeah, it was a pretty good game for the most part. It was that's like you said, that's the Vikings team I expected. That's why I picked the Vikings to win the North, and because that's what I thought you were going to see starting off. So, who knows? Maybe they go on a run. See what happens. All right, so the next game is the Texans versus the Titans. I'm going to go ahead and start off with this one. I picked the Texans. The Texans won 34-17. Mariota was 22 for 23, 303 yards, 2 touchdowns. Deshaun Watson was 19 for 24, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns. But it wasn't close. The Texans jumped up on them. I fell asleep, and that was that. Mark, who'd you have?
This one I took the Texans on it too. Mariota was playing much better. I think he finally took that brace of the thing he had on his thumb, and he was more effective. So yeah, I took the Titans on.
Brian, who'd you have?
I picked this one wrong. I went with the Titans again. That early bias, thinking that this was 2 weeks now, remember. So I didn't get to see how bad they were going to play against the Colts. So I had already made this pick, though. But, I mean, Mariota, the only thing he had was like a stat line. I think he was like, 21 or 26 or something. He had a real good passing percentage, but it was just short, deep dunks. And, I mean, the Texans, like Herman said, they had this game in the wrap.
For 303 yards. Huh?
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah. And then them, too, chasing points in that game. And I didn't understand that either.
Marcus, who'd you have?
I picked the Texans. Texans are good right now. They look like they're going to win the AFC South. And Tennessee was looking good those last 2 games against the Patriots and who else did they beat? The Cowboys. But I knew they would bring that same fire to the Texans. The Texans are hot right now. And I had Lamar Miller in my fantasy league. It wasn't enough to win, unfortunately, but I had Lamar. He put some points on me. He was 12 for 162 yards and 1 touchdown.
97-yard touchdown, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And he's the only player that's done it twice. He did a 94 and a 97-yard touchdown.
So Brian wrong wolf that one.
What is going on with you and these lone wolf from Holly?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna let y'all all pick and then just go to ride
next time he lone wolf said he should go wrong. All right, so the last game of Thanksgiving Day, Cowboys and Skins. Dallas won this one 31-23. We're gonna let Marcus start off with this one. Who'd you have, Marcus?
Well, because I picked the Skins, but I didn't really expect them to win. But I didn't expect them to do what they did. I've been saying all season, and y'all have been saying that I was wrong. But the Redskins are a suspect. Well, they were in first place. I think now they're in second place or tied. I don't know, but they were a suspect first place team. They're what they were known for, their defense. I don't know. I don't know what they. I don't think anybody was coming. What's his name? Amari Cooper. In the third quarter, those 2 touchdowns back to back were ridiculous. It's okay. The first one's you blame the first one on them. You blame the second one on you. There was no excuse for that. Once that second touchdown happened, I knew the game was over. And like I've been saying all year, you only have to look at one stat in the Cowboys game to see if they won the game. And Zeke was 26 for 121 yards, only 1 touchdown. But if he's getting that many carries and he's getting that many yards, Cowboys are going to win the game.
Zeke had 2.
No, he had 1.
He had 1.
I thought he had 2. Mark, who'd you have?
This one, I chose the Cowboys on. I was victorious on this one.
Why are you saying it like that?
But I would say there were quite a bit of questionable calls in that game. That I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know if it would have changed the game more so. But I mean, it sure enough left you scratching your head.
This is a Pittsburgh fan crying for.
I mean, I'm just calling it what it is. I don't think Colt McCoy would have did enough to beat the Cowboys. I don't think that. But those calls didn't help the situation at all. They really didn't. One other thing, think that second touchdown, that was a backbreaker. Once he got that one, you pretty much
it was completely over at that point. You knew it was done. It was done. Like the score like that both times back to back.
That was a backbreaker.
It was done. It was over.
And of course, I picked my Cowboys. Dak was 22 for 31, 289 yards, two passing touchdowns. Yeah, and he had a running touchdown. McCoy was 24 for 38, 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I don't know why the Skins got away from their run game. I mean, I know we were, but you have to keep pounding. We have a good run defense, I know, but you have to keep pounding.
If you're only averaging 2.9 yards,
you still got to keep pounding. You were never down by more than a score, I think, until it got to like the third quarter. Did Adrian Peterson even show up on the stats? 12 carries.
He had 12 carries for 35 yards.
35 yards.
Yeah, 12 carries. I mean, that's not enough. You got to keep trying. So hey, if that's what the Skins wanted to do, I was fine with it. So yeah, I picked the Cowboys. Brian.
Yeah, I also went with the Cowboys. They made my Thanksgiving. I want to give a shout out to Jerry Jones. I want to give a shout out to Jason Garrett. I want to thank Tank Lawrence for that interception on that play where the Redskins lineman tried to block him and did a terrible job at it and gave him a free interception. I just had a ball the whole game. I was nervous a little bit at the first half, first quarter. Didn't really want to eat too much a little bit. But then once the game was in hand, man, I had chicken, I had turkey, I had everything. They were just bringing me plates. I had the best Thanksgiving ever, and I want to give a shout out again to the whole Dallas Cowboys organization.
Yeah,
Marcus. Hey, man, that's the Colt McCoy out of it.
Whatever. But what's crazy is I don't know if y'all remember this. A couple days before that game, I shared a thing off of Instagram from Shannon Sharp where he did a poll asking, were the Cowboys the best team in the NFC East, and it was overwhelmingly no. But I don't know who was taking that poll because if it's not the Cowboys, who the hell is it?
Hey, everybody still is on the Eagles. They still on the Eagles.
But yeah, I told y'all for Thanksgiving, it was nice to have people thinking about me. I was sitting there watching the game, and I look over at my phone, and my boss emailed me telling me to shut up. So I was like, yeah, it's nice to be thought of.
But and on those, the questionable calls, I will say there were a couple, but I mean, it's NFL. Yeah. Referees do miss them, and
because they miss a lot,
right? And they miss a lot all the time, so you can't take that.
Well,
none of them was against the Redskins defense. So.
It wasn't no questionable calls against them damn 2 touchdowns. That wasn't no question about that.
No point right there. Yeah.
So I don't think it would have made much difference.
All right, so that wraps up our.
We don't want to go back to that game.
That wraps up our picks from week 11 and 12. I went 3-2 week 11. How'd you do, Brian?
I did 3-2 also.
Mark, what'd you do?
3-2.
Marcus?
I think I went 4-1.
Okay, I don't believe that. But
yeah, because you didn't pick the Cowboys game right, and I think you didn't pick another game.
Oh no, all right, 3-2. I went 3-2.
All right, so week 12, I went 5-0 week 12. So
I don't want to talk about that.
3-2.
No, 3-2 also.
3-2.
Marcus, what'd you do?
Week 12?
Yeah, the Thanksgiving in week 12.
I think that was 3-2 as well.
Who'd you miss? Dallas and who?
trying to think. I forget. I don't know.
Start writing your stuff down. All right, so we're gonna move on to the Week 13 games. This week's games. We got some pick'ems for you. I'm gonna go ahead and start this one out with Marcus because we already know who he's gonna pick on this game. So Marcus, why don't you go ahead? This is the Saints. Yeah, the Saints at the Cowboys. Marcus,
Thursday night
game.
First of all, I want to know how in the hell does Cowboys keep getting these damn primetime games back to back?
What do you mean?
This is like the 5th primetime game in a row.
No, it's not.
It's not in a row. We had the.
I consider Thanksgiving a primetime game because they don't.
We had the Falcons.
The Eagles at
that was prime.
Oh yeah.
We had the Falcons at 1:00.
That's right. Yeah, the Falcons.
Well,
we toasted.
Well, anyway, you know who I'm picking. I'm picking the Saints. Yeah, Cowboys not gonna beat the Saints. Let's just be real. If you picking the Cowboys, you're a fan and you're delusional. They're not gonna beat this. Where's this game at? In Dallas or in
Dallas?
Doesn't matter. Not beating the Saints. Period.
Mark, who you got?
I'm taking Saints on this one.
Don't say it like that. Say it with confidence, Mark.
Well, I do think the Cowboys built up some confidence from beating the Redskins.
That's not. They should have won that game. That's not confidence.
Yeah, but I think they're going to put up a pretty good, decent fight. But I think Saints got too much arsenal to deal with. So I'm taking the Saints on this one.
Brian, who you got?
All right. So in this particular game, the league leader in rushing is going to play in this game, which is Ezekiel. He leads the league right now with 1,074 yards. But the Saints do have the number 5 ranked offense. Breeze is actually phenomenal. I mean, 29 touchdowns, 2 picks. You really can't take anything from him. Cowboys giving up about 19.4 yards a game on defense. And we're the number 6 rushing offense, getting about 134.5 yards. So it's basically going to come down to, can the Cowboys eat enough clock to keep Drew Brees and that offense off the field? The Cowboys are giving up 7.5 points in this game. It's a lot of points. Vegas is going that way, so I'm going to take the Saints.
Whoa.
So I was thinking about this game as I was putting stuff down. Right before the show came on, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I came across this video. And the video was showing me highlights of the Dallas Cowboys beating the New Orleans Saints when they were 10-0. Dallas went to New Orleans and beat the Saints.
What year was that? Like 20 years ago?
No, it was 2000.
That was a Super Bowl year.
Yeah, I think it might have been the Super Bowl year. That year they went to the Super Bowl. You know, my blood started bubbling. I started feeling it, and I was like, you know what? I'm picking my Cowboys. And you know why I'm picking them? Everybody talking about the Saints got this rush defense, that rush defense. Ain't nobody trying to run on the Saints because you can't run on the Saints because you're too far behind.
Yeah.
But Dallas is going to stay with the Saints, and they're going to run the ball with Zeke. This is a better defense than we had back then. Granted, this is the Saints' offense that's better too. But it's pretty much about the same system. The Dallas Cowboys are going to shock everybody and beat the Saints this week. It's going to be a close game. You might win it on a field goal at the end. But I'm going to pick my Cowboys.
You think it's going to be a close game?
Yeah, I ain't asking for your opinion. It's going to be a close game.
And you know, everybody is all on the same pattern. But they had some close games against good defenses. I mean, they played Cleveland. They almost tied with Cleveland. They played Baltimore with Flacco. Okay, Flacco brought them back in that game. They had to come back and win at the end.
And that was at home with Cleveland. That wasn't on the road either. I think that was in New Orleans, if not mistaken.
I can't remember. But I mean, they're not invincible.
Any given Sunday, baby. They're good. Don't get me wrong. They're good. But you know what? Dallas is playing with a lot of confidence right now. And that defense is good. The Saints haven't gone up against a defense like this in a few games.
And like I said, that rushing statistic, and their defense is like 29th in pass because everybody has to throw.
Right.
He's playing catch up.
That's why that defense doesn't have to worry about nobody rushing because they don't rush.
Right.
If the other team doesn't run the ball, you're going to be number one.
So we're going to see. All right, so we're going to move on to the next game, and that's going to be the Chargers at the Steelers. Marcus, who you got on this one?
That's a tough one. The Chargers are playing really good right now. If it wasn't for Kansas City, I think they definitely walk away with that AFC West. Phillip Rivers, he had a stellar game last week. He's looking like he could almost be in MVP contention right now.
He's definitely a sneaky MVP.
Yeah. This game's in Pittsburgh.
It's in
Yes, it's in
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Man.
Is this Sunday night?
Sunday night game.
Yeah, it is a
Sunday
Sunday
night
night game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. I hate to do it, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna pick the Chargers. I think the Chargers might pull this one out. I think it's gonna be a great game regardless. This should be a good game regardless of how it turns out. But I think the Chargers are gonna walk away with this one.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one. I feel like they had a very disappointing loss last week, boneheaded loss. They're at home. That's the main reason I'm picking them. The Chargers. I haven't seen a lot of the Chargers games. For some reason I don't like watching the Chargers play. I don't know why. It's something about watching. I think the AFC West.
It's probably the way that Phillip Rivers throws the ball.
It could be that too.
He does have an awkward
Delivery.
Yeah, I know the Chargers are good, but again, I think I'm gonna go with the Steelers at home on this one. If they were playing in LA, I probably would flip this pick. So, Brian, who you got?
Like Mark is saying, man, this is a tough one. I mean, you got the Steelers, they're giving up 3.5. Got the number 4 ranked offense and the number 3 ranked running back. James Conner, although everybody sees how well he's doing, that joker has 894 yards already on the season. The Chargers are the number 6 offense. So, I mean, they're both scoring points. And they were actually around the same amount of points per game. But the Chargers lost Melvin.
Yeah, no,
And that's a big loss right there. The only thing that kind of counteracts it is now they have Bosa back. So the defense should be a whole lot better. They should be getting more pressure on them. It's tough, man, but I'm going to go with the Chargers. I'm going to try the Chargers. I don't know why. Steelers will probably win it, but I'm going to go with the Chargers.
Mark, who you got?
On this one, I have to say that this is a tough matchup for the Steelers, especially with Rivers having a stellar game last week. He set himself a record for 25 completions straight in a row.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He's on fire. You got to give it to him. I think them not having Melvin Gordon is going to give Steelers an edge, even though they got Bosa. Steelers still got something to prove to me, man. We seem to can't really pull it off against really quality teams, and that's what I have a problem with. But in this particular game, I'm going to take the Steelers. I can't go against them. I'm taking Steelers all the way.
After this game, Steelers got the Patriots next.
No, I don't want to say the Raiders, then the Patriots. I want to say the Raiders.
Yeah, they better get this one.
Yeah, they do need to win this one.
That AFC is getting tight.
It's getting tight. It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here.
So we're gonna move on to the Monday night game.
Where'd you go? Where'd you pick?
Steelers. I'm
Okay.
going after Mark. We're gonna go with the Monday night game. We'll start this one off with Mark. Who you got on this one, Mark?
The Monday night game, the
Redskins at the Eagles.
and the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yes, you did.
I'm having a tough time with this one. I really am. I want to believe in the Skins. Man, I mean, Coach, you gotta have to do me. You gotta show me something, Coach. My heart's saying Redskins, but they might find a way to lose it. I'm taking the Redskins on it, but I might change that thought by the end of the game.
Brian, yeah.
So this one, like Mark said, I mean, it's crazy. Again, the Redskins and the Philly offenses average about 20 points a game, which isn't a lot. Philly's giving up 6.5 on this one. I guess because they're at home, but that's still a big number with two division rivals. You got the 19th ranked offense against the 18th ranked defense. Redskins defense has fallen off in the last few games. Not as tight as they had been. The secondary has been in question, for the most part. That pass rush doesn't get to the quarterback. There's some questions on the back end of that defense. Just because Philly's at home, I'm gonna take Philly. And I just don't see Colt. I mean, I guess he'll get his first week with the ones and be able to do all that, but Colt's been a backup his whole career for a reason, and I just don't think he's going to be the one that's going to take the Skins to the promised land.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles on this one. They got a running back. They found a running back. I already got this guy from Adams.
Notre Dame. I think it's Notre Dame.
Was he on their practice squad? Where Where's he?
I think they drafted him.
He's been running the football. He ran the football pretty good against the Giants. I think they're going to try to pretty much emulate what Dallas did with Zeke. They're going to try to run the football on the Redskins. Colts going to make a couple mistakes. And the Eagles, because they're at home, they're going to pull this one out. I'm going with the Eagles.
You said they're going to blow it out.
So they'll pull this one out.
Oh, okay.
I ain't going to be no blowout. This is going to be a close one. Marcus, who
I mean, you act like the Eagles ain't never blown y'all out before.
They won't do it. They won't do it on Monday. I get it. The Eagles are.
You saying y'all been blown out by the Eagles on Monday night?
The Eagles are trash. Skins are trash too. But you know, I gotta pick the Skins because I'm wearing the damn hat. So, but you know, here's what the Skins gotta do. They gotta get back to playing defense, and they gotta run the ball. You know, basically the offense now goes to Adrian Peterson. So you gotta give him way more carries. Huh?
Get it to Vernon Davis. That fool.
I mean,
one touchdown.
You know, I don't trust Colt McCoy to do that on a consistent basis. I'd rather they, you know, pass it if they have to, let Adrian run it, let him be the, you know, get the ball as much as possible. And, you know, I don't think it's going to be a good game. And I don't think it's really going to mean anything. Neither one of these teams are going to win the division, you know. So, doesn't matter.
Sounds like a true Redskins fan. Okay.
Hey, I'm just being truthful. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all still got a chance, but if you say so. Next game we're going to move on to is Vikings and Patriots. And I'll let Marcus start this one off because we already know who he's picking.
I got to say, the Patriots, you know, they haven't been actually looking that great this year. Tom Brady hasn't been looking like his normal self. This might be the beginning of the decline, you know. So I don't feel bad about not drafting him in fantasy this year. But that being said, it's freaking Kirk Cousins. He'll throw a pick. He'll fumble the ball. I'm picking the Patriots.
So just let me get this straight now. Last week when Kirk played against Rodgers, but now he's playing against Brady, but he's going to mess up again.
But I picked him last week against you know, that had less to do with Kirk Cousins and more to do with the Packers in dysfunction.
What was that line again, Herman? Some yards and
340.
He ain't gonna do that. Well, actually, the Patriots defense ain't that great.
Yeah.
He might pull it off again this week, but he won't win the game. He won't be enough to win the game. He'll fumble. He'll throw a pick. We all know what Kirk Cousins do.
Mark, who you got?
It's hard to pick against the Patriots, man, Tom Brady. And I did draft Brady in my fantasy. He finally had a decent week last week. But
against the Jets.
This one, that's what he's supposed to do. This one, I think the Patriots will come out victorious on this. I'm taking the Pats.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots too. They're like super hard to beat at home. You know, they just don't lose at home, even though the Vikings are coming off that win. I just feel like it's the Patriots, it's Tom Brady. It'll be a close game. I'm not going to see a blowout, but if it comes down to a field goal, I sure hope the Vikings don't have to kick it because they don't have any confidence in their kicker. You saw that, you know, this past weekend. I can't blame any coaches for not having confidence in their kickers this year. Something weird is going on. So I'm going with the Patriots.
Plus also, you know, with the Steelers being next on the schedule, the Patriots need to win this game if they want any kind of home field advantage at all.
True, definitely.
They can't lose here and then go turn around and lose to the Steelers. They're done if they do that. They'll still win the division, but there will be no home field advantage, and they don't want to go into Kansas City right now.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be chasing Kansas City. Well, I think they're going to be chasing Kansas City anyway.
Yeah, probably so.
Brian.
So, Mark, you said it was hard. It's hard to pick against the Patriots.
Yes.
Ow! Baby, I'm going with the Vikings. I am a believer. Let me tell you one thing, man. The Vikings are number 3 ranked defense going against that number 9 ranked offense of the Patriots. The Patriots are giving up 5 points in this game. But you know, Kirk Cousins is number 4 in passing. So yeah, Marcus, he might throw you one pick, but he probably throw 2 touchdowns to make it up. So I like the Vikings in this one. I think the defense will hold Tom Brady down. I mean, last week, again, even the Jets was still in that game for a while, and then they finally took off. Gronk is not the same. He just doesn't have the weapons that he normally has. Is Sony Michel playing in this game, or is he not playing in this game?
I think he is.
In
this game, they might be able to get a running game because they keep putting the wide receiver turn to a running back there, and they think that's working, but it looks crazy to me. Just like when Green Bay did it with the other dude that they cut, that now
Top Montgomery.
that now Baltimore has. So give me them Vikings.
Wow. All right. So the last game on the docket this week is Ravens at the Falcons. I'll start this one off. I'm going with the Ravens. The Falcons are just terrible. They're terrible. Even though they're at home, I just don't feel like – I don't know what Falcons team that is. And I picked them fools to win the NFC South. And I just don't even know what team that is. I think losing Freeman has just completely changed their whole dynamic for that team. I don't think teams are as worried about the run, even though, Coleman can chunk off some, but they don't have anybody to bring in Smith. That Edo Smith, he's not doing anything. So I'm going with the Ravens. Who you got, Marcus?
I'm gonna go with the Ravens. I'm hyped that Lamar Jackson they're playing and winning. I don't have a lot of faith in the Falcons right now. They're back like Mark said earlier. They're back to their red zone troubles. So I think the Ravens will pull this one out.
Mark, who you got?
Lamar Jackson. When he was drafted in the Baltimore, all eyebrows stuck up, went up. He may be looking at the future. I think he's seeing the future. Now, if he keep running recklessly like he's been doing, he'll end up at like RG3, broke up. What did it say? Against the Falcons defense, man, I think he's going to have a field day. I'm going to have to go with Baltimore on this one.
Yeah, he definitely needs to start throwing more. Brian, who you got?
Yeah, and this game is basically like a pick 'em from Vegas. Their Falcons are giving up 1 point. Falcons number 7 ranked offense, number 2 ranked rush defense. That was a stat that was kind of surprising to me. The Ravens are number 1 defense. They've been getting fat lately on a lot of weak teams, running the ball with Lamar. He played the Raiders and I forgot the other team that he played, but neither team were in any contention or any question. I question their offensive philosophy. I just don't see him running like that. And I think that if the Falcons
long term,
and if the Falcons can get up by like 2 touchdowns, I just don't see that offense scoring enough points to catch up with them. So again, I guess I'm lone wolfing it with give me the Falcons.
Wrong. All right, so those are the games for this week. It's good to be back doing the show again. We're going to talk a little bit of hot topics right now. A little bit of craziness going on in the NFL with some of the coaching decisions that are going on. Coaches going for 2 in the first quarter, like for no reason at all. Scoring like, you do the math on the score and it's like, well, why? What are you doing that for?
You just don't trust the kickers.
I mean, we just finished talking about the Falcons. And when the Falcons played the Saints, they were down there in the area. Could have kicked the field goal but they for some reason they thought they needed to chase points to keep up with the Saints. And you saw the results. They were turning the ball over. They were getting no points in there instead of at least getting that 3. I don't see any reason for any coach to be going for it that early in the game. If you're going to get points, get the points when you need them. If the points are there, you take those points that are given to you. You don't give up points trying to get these 7, trying to get a touchdown just to stay with the other team. The Titans were doing it on Monday night against the Texans. I mean, they're right there on the goal line and they're going for it. Instead of kicking your chip shot field goal, get them 3 points and get your defense back on the field.
Yeah. This coaching philosophy now is kind of strange. At least 10 years ago, they were saying, take points off the board. Now you're gambling to get points on the board. Right. So it's a different philosophy that they have that, I'm not sure what their thinking is, but, the 3-point kick used to be guaranteed. You just don't get a guarantee.
It's not anymore.
I mean, that part is true. That part is true.
I mean, you got these kickers that are missing extra points, and I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what is going on?
It's not just something freaky something to the
like
ball.
Something's going on. I mean, you saw this. You used to see this with you'd have 1 or 2 teams that would have a kicker who was just like, oh my gosh, when are y'all going to cut this dude? But this year, it's happened on almost every team. Where
like you were saying with Minnesota, I mean, that's Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey was a god when the Cowboys before he got hurt. You could get up and go get a drink when he kicked the field goal because you knew it was guaranteed.
Yeah, come back.
Now he's missing all the time.
Pittsburgh is another team. Boswell was guaranteed money anything within 20. But he's been missing too.
Also, Packers that game Crosby.
Yeah,
He really missed 2 or 3.
2 or 3. He's still on the team. He's lucky he didn't lose his job.
I mean, even Tucker missed an extra point.
Yeah.
It's craziness. So I mean, you just wonder. It's not just that though. Coaches are making some of these decisions. You know, what game was that? I forget what it was. They could have kicked the extra point to tie it up.
The Carolina game.
Yeah,
Carolina
game.
kicked the extra point, tied it, win overtime. Instead, he tries to go for 2 and loses the game.
Like, come on, man. That was just stupid. And Carolina was the visiting team. So the call is gonna likely you're gonna get the call.
I mean, why did you do all that work and effort to get down there to score a touchdown just to make it all count on one play?
Yeah.
You made that whole game down to one play that you had to execute.
And it was unnecessary.
Right.
It was so unnecessary. So
I mean, it's one thing if you kick the field goal and the kicker misses, then that's not on you. That's on the kicker. Get rid of that kicker and you bring another one in. But
when you
what
go
do you think,
to-
Marcus? You ain't said nothing.
I mean, you know, I think it's the professional football is starting to mirror college a lot. There's a lot of like fast-paced teams. That was a big thing with Chip Kelly when he was with Oregon.
Yeah.
They would always go for the 2 points to get more points, and he would also go for it on 4th down a lot. He said, his excuse was statistically, you had as good a shot as getting the first down on the 4th down as you do as making a field goal. But I don't know what's going on these days. Like you said, kickers keep missing it. And it's not only missing field goals, missing extra points. Something's in the water in the kicker's Kool-Aid or something. I don't know what's going on.
And I'm all for going for it on 4th down. If you're past the 50, in that crazy area where punting doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, I'm all for it. But once you're in your field goal to kicker's range, you don't get it on 4th down. Kick the damn field goal.
Do you even know what your kicker's field goal range is?
I mean,
this
that's
year?
true. I mean,
if you're missing extra points, you're missing extra points. What I mean.
Right.
Yeah, so what are we saying now? We will just no longer kick the ball?
I mean, in all honesty, my approach, I think maybe as a coach, maybe I would take it as the only time I'm going to kick an extra point is if it's going to tie the game to go into overtime, or if it's going to tie the game. Period. I'm down by, I score and I'm down by 1. Other than that, maybe I just start going for 2 throughout the whole game.
I don't know if you remember a while ago, there was a game the Pittsburgh had played, and like the first half, y'all basically end up chasing points that whole game because y'all did.
But Mike has been doing this for a long time. This is not something he just started with. He's always seemed to go for the 2-point conversions early in games, and sometimes it made a difference. Sometimes it was not. It didn't do good. But I remember the game you talked about, and we were chasing points the whole entire game.
But early in the game, I go down and I score 6. All right, I might try the 2-point conversion. It's not going to hurt. But if that extra point is going to tie the game, I'm going to go ahead and put it in my kicker's leg and let him take care of it.
A lot of coaches' philosophy is this: if you have the ball right before the half, and you may be up like 1 score, if you get that 2 points conversion and you get the ball the second quarter half, it's like a momentum builder.
Okay, I can see that.
I can understand that in a lot of coaching. I can take that.
Now, the going for it on 4th downs, and you're saying past the 50. I'm thinking, I depending on down and distance, 4th down and distance, I may try it on my own 40. 4th and 1 statistically has to be. It has to be pretty good for you to get that first down. 4th and 5 now, that's a different story. You know what I mean? So 4th and 1, depending on what, I'm not going to do it on my own 20. I'm just not. You don't get that. You're giving the other team a touchdown.
Marcus, speaking of 4th and 1, Z got robbed in that game on that 4th and 1. That was first down. He laid the ball out. That was first down. They didn't get
but didn't y'all win the game?
Yeah.
So it don't matter.
I just thought I'd bring it.
It don't matter.
Thank you, Mark.
Marcus, what you think?
What?
What you think about all this?
I didn't say what I thought about it.
Going for it on 4th down. We were talking about going for it on 4th down too, though.
Oh, like I said, like you said, if it's like 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and you're at the 50 or beyond, then if you have confidence, well, first of all, if you're let's say this, if you're New Orleans, you're the Rams, with Kansas City, maybe Pittsburgh, then I'll say yeah, go for it every time. Now if you're the Skins or the Eagles or Cleveland, you probably should go ahead and punt that ball if you can field goal. But I feel if you got if you got confidence in your offense, then what's 1 yard?
Hey, speaking of Cleveland, how did y'all feel about that press conference that the quarterback gave dissing the old head coach for joining the I guess the evil team that's in the same division?
Well, it's not just him. It's that when that I don't know his name, but whoever caught that interception,
and handed him the ball
and handed Hugh Jackson the ball.
Darius Randall, the defensive back for Cleveland, who intercepted the ball and walked right over and get. I think it was more disrespectful.
I thought that was very
disrespectful. I don't understand why they hate Hugh Jackson so much. He was fired.
Right.
This man was fired. He's got to go get.
So was it just like motivation? Do you think like maybe the head coach, was like, he's over there telling us how to do?
He probably.
We got to show him that we were better.
Yeah, I can see Greg Williams doing something like that.
But now Baker Mayfield comes out and say that he wasn't getting the support of Hugh Jackson while he was there. So I don't think Baker Mayfield is the one to talk about anything. When he was in Texas, he was at Texas Tech. He didn't have a scholarship there, but his freshman year, he actually asked to be transferred. He went to Oklahoma, but who was coming in? Well, he couldn't get a starting job because Davis Webb was a starting quarterback. And the year that he left, who came in after him?
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes. He knew he wasn't going to get a chance to play. So he actually ran out on that Texas Tech team because he knew he couldn't get a starting job in there. So he went to Oklahoma. So he's not really the man to talk on a coach leaving one team or getting fired from another team, not having a job to getting a job with another team. And one other thing I'll say about Hugh Jackson, you can say what you want about him. He is a good teacher. He's a good coach. He's a good teaching coach. He may not be a good head coach to lead your men, but he's a good teacher.
He was an awesome offensive coordinator. He made the Cincinnati Bengals quarterback.
Exactly. But he started out as a wide receiver coach. Every wide receiver that you talk to about this man say he's fantastic. He's a great teacher. Yeah. He just may not be the one who leads your men. But Baker Mayfield does not have any room to talk.
Yeah. When I saw this from Baker Mayfield, my first reaction was he needs to shut up and sit down.
Yeah.
You're a rookie in the NFL. This man was fired, and this man wants to feed his family.
And didn't he get the job because Hugh wanted him?
I think Hugh promoted. Yeah, did
he drafted him?
Yeah, he drafted him, and he, decided. I think when he was like time to go with him.
Well, what I mean. His might be his motivation a little bit. And a lot of people say that he Baker Mayfield should have been starting from the very jump over Tyrod Taylor, and maybe it's about that. And to be honest with you, he probably should have been starting this whole entire time. And that was definitely, I think that was all Hugh Jackson.
I kind of like the idea of a rookie, at least getting a feel of the NFL and getting his feet wet. You coming in there, there's a whole lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and stuff that you have to get accomplished. So I kind of like the idea of you taking your time and getting yourself in third, fourth, fifth game.
I mean, Baker didn't even know how to work. If you watched Hard Knocks, you saw there was an episode where Tyrod was in the gym working at 4 a.m. or something, and Baker came in and he was talking to Hugh Jackson. And Hugh Jackson asked him something about it. He said, yeah, he comes in, he's got his routine, comes in, blah, blah. And Hugh Jackson said, well, what's your routine? And Baker Mayfield just gave this blank stare like he had no clue. Because he didn't. He's a rookie. He was telling him, you need to be working with him. Learn from him. He's a vet. So Baker Mayfield could have, I could see that Johnny Manziel type personality in him.
He does have that.
He has it under control, but I could see that coming out some. You know what I mean? He, like I said, he just needs to sit down, shut up,
and win games.
And win games. And don't worry about Hugh Jackson. Don't worry about that.
Why Hugh Jackson? You had like Hugh Jackson took over the Bengals and he was the head coach.
Right.
He was like a consultant on the team. I don't even know what his actual job title is.
I would hope if I got fired, one of my friends would hire me.
Yeah. And I mean, does that mean when Baker gets fired on his squad that he don't go play NFL
Right, you're not
football
allowed
no
to go
more?
play for somebody.
Exactly.
Yeah, sit down, shut up.
The Bengals want to hire. Oh no, y'all bad. I don't want to go for your squad.
Right. But I think that pretty much wraps up this week's show. Like I said, it was good to be back.
Marcus, you lucky we ain't talk about what you didn't want us to talk about.
Whatever.
We're not even going to talk about that controversial signing of Ike Turner.
But it did make a big NFL news.
It's all over.
It
the
definitely
news.
did. I
Everybody's talking.
just don't
about it.
understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, he's on the inactive. Can't even play.
Just the funny part about it is
and
that
what other question?
you remember when we had the Kraken.
Yeah.
Remember when we hit, and you remember how much grief they gave about us signing the Kraken. But
The
you
who?
listen to talk radio. What's this?
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy.
Oh.
But if you listen to talk radio, it's not that bad. He's just there just in case, and
Seriously? They sent a limo to freaking pick him up from jail
Right.
practice.
And I still don't understand why they put Doug Williams in front of him.
You know, to me, that's what told me everything. Right after the signing, you had all this jitter jabber talk. Then Redskins put out this report, and they didn't spell Doug Williams' name right. They spelled it wrong.
I didn't see that.
So I don't think Doug Williams was the one who put it out there. It was the Redskins. So it was like they had to hurry up and clean it up as soon as it was announced. So, I mean, there's red flags.
But
to this
I ain't gonna
all.
lie. In their defense, it's really hard not to change your tune. I mean, I hated T.O. until he put the star on.
T.O. didn't
Then I
beat
was-
no women.
He didn't, but he was a bad. Greg Hardy was a bad dude.
Well,
He was.
But I
He's
remember
bad.
the
Wait a minute.
Let's just say
T.O. never did anything in his.
yeah. So let's
If it quacks like if it walks
Well,
like a duck
let's-
and
let's
quacks
just-
like a duck, it's
okay.
a duck.
But we all know there's other NFL players that did other stuff. You know, you got Ray Lewis, who basically
He was found innocent.
no, but he had a plea
He
deal.
put it in no
He made a plea
contest.
deal.
No, not on that. Not on
Yes,
that.
he did. He had a plea deal. He made a plea deal. He got a statue involved on that. You go back and look at it. He made a plea deal.
He
You
The
can't
plea deal was
expect
for-
your NFL players to be role
No, you can't expect them to be perfect role
But-
models. But for Ray Lewis, his was a plea deal for it wasn't for murder. It was a plea deal for tampering with evidence.
Yeah, that's what that was.
That was
correct.
that's a little
Correct.
different.
That's correct.
I mean, all right, look. Everybody wants to say, well, you know, okay, yeah, he is innocent until proven guilty. I'm going to ask you this because we talked about this in the chat. If you're an NFL player, if you're just any man, and a woman keeps supposedly lying on you to the police that you beat her, why are you still dealing with this chick?
Amen.
Well,
So much to lose. Why would you still? I wouldn't deal with her, and I don't have that much to lose. Why would you still deal with her? And you
After
have
that
no-
first incident, my
Yeah,
name would have been changed.
That's my whole
and they ain't even got no
point.
kids together, nothing.
no
either.
kids.
You
together,
wouldn't have heard not a peep out of me.
So why are you still dealing with this chick?
I 100% agree. And this is my rule. If a woman calls the cops on you, whether it's warranted or not, the minute she finished dialing the last one, that relationship is over.
Exactly.
That relationship is over.
Exactly.
You right.
So, you know, they have a toxic relationship. It's obvious. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of, unfortunately, these players, I'm not saying they should be the role models, but people want to hold them to a higher standard. You know, and the NFL does so much different things for stuff like drug use. And, you know, you get this suspension, alcohol abuse. Alcoholism is a disease.
It's a disease.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you can you can murder somebody driving drunk and still.
Somebody did. Who's that? Starworth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
did get back in
well, there was
Dante
more than
Stone.
one. You had the linebacker that was in the Rams. Little, he did it. He
Oh, yeah, he did too.
yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things that the NFL lets slip that it should be more than just, I mean, they need to rein this stuff in.
or do something because the bottom line. The NFL is entertainment.
It is.
It's entertainment. We got singers and actors that are coked and drugged out and do
that's
all
true,
these
too.
other things too, and they aren't held to the same standard as an NFL player. So either I just feel like I don't know, they're professional athletes playing a game. You shouldn't look up to them as role models.
You shouldn't. Your parents need to control what your kids see as role models. But at the same time, if I own an NFL team, I'm going to avoid this stuff. It's bad publicity for your team. It's I know the talent is there, but again, at the same time, this dude can't even play this year. He's not going to play another game this year. Why bother even going through the hassle? Deal with that on the offseason.
Because even if, like, say, if he does somehow get through this, NFL is still going to put some type of
right now he's on the like the list where he can't play. So they're investigating. So he's not going to play this year. Why even bother? That's the thing.
So do you applaud the San Francisco for not?
Yes, I definitely applaud San Francisco because they gave him way too many opportunities in the first place.
They did.
He was arrested 3 times this year.
And
wait, three times? What was the
gun charge?
One was a gun charge, and the other one was domestic violence and
disorderly conduct type of.
Well, this one, domestic violence, a gun, and I think the other one was a domestic too. So 3 times this year.
I think they San Francisco did well on trying to stick with him through this whole ordeal. They just got to a point where it was just too much.
When they come to your facility and you get arrested,
he was arrested at the team hotel.
Yeah,
that's another thing. You live in California. You're in Florida, basically on a business trip. Why is she even there?
Who flew her there?
Why? Who else? Who else flew their girlfriend or wife?
Exactly. Well, some players, I think they fly their wives and stuff to away games. Some
secretly, it probably do.
I don't think it's secretly. I think they do it.
But don't you have to stay in the team hotel?
The player does, but that doesn't. But the wife and the spouse, they can stay, I think, elsewhere or whatever. I don't think it's uncommon because they've shown it. You've seen it on TV where a spouse is at a game. But again, why? Like you said, why is he dealing with this chick if she's lying on him constantly about being beat?
Yeah, Marcus, he said nothing true about that. As soon as she dialed 911,
as soon as she dialed 911, that relationship is done.
You married, she dialed 911, you dialed divorce lawyer.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You got way too much to lose to be dealing with a woman who supposedly would lie on you and try to ruin your career.
So we ran a little long.
We ran a little long. We're going to wrap the show up on that note. So we appreciate you guys joining us. Tune in next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. You got any last thoughts, Brian?
No, Marcus, go ahead and get us out of here.
Just want to encourage everyone to like, share, and subscribe. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell icon so you get notified whenever we go live. Like Herman said, we'll see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. We out.
Peace.
Photo shoot.
I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting to verify.
Gosh.
There's a lag in the stream. I got to see if the.
We should turn our camera off.
Oh, you know what? We didn't. Bam. My fault.